Hello, grade 8. How you doing? This is Question Bank Answers, starting from chapter 7, page 128. Defining the following. In this chapter, we have many definitions. You only need and have to know only these definitions. Then, choose the best answer. Which of the following does not describe the catastrophic change? Gradual. Scientists sign relative ages by using the principle of superposition. Which of the following is a trace fossil? A dinosaur track. Wait, it's important. The largest division of geologic time are called eons. Important as well. Rock layers cut by a fault formed before the fault. Of the following isotopes, which is stable? Carbon-12. A surface that represents a missing part of the geologic column is called an unconformity. Which method of radiometric dating is used mainly to date the remains of organisms that lived within the last 15 years? Carbon-14 dating. Which of the following words describe change according to the principle of uniformitarianism? Gradual. Molten rock that sequestrates into existing rock and cools is called intrusion. The half-life of carbon-14 is 5,713 years. Important. The half-life of rubidium-strontium is 49 billion years. The half-life of potassium argon is 1.3 million years. Fossils are most often preserved in rock. A dash is a cavity in a rock where a plant or animal was buried. Mold. Dash can be used to establish the age of rock layers, of course, index fossil. The unit of geologic time that began 65.5 million years ago and continues to the present is the Cenozoic era. Answer the following QAs. What is the difference between uniformitarianism and catastrophism? The principle of uniformitarianism that states that all geologic processes that shape the earth are gradual and uniform. The principle of catastrophism states that all geologic processes that shape the earth are sudden and catastrophic. Give one example of catastrophic global change. Global climate change caused by an asteroid striking Earth. Mention the three types of paleontologists: vertebrate paleontologist, invertebrate paleontologist, and paleobotanist. How rock layers become disturbed: folding, intrusion, and tilting. Define the term unconformity. Unconformity is a surface that represents a missing part of the geologic column. List each of the three major categories of unconformity: disconformities, nonconformities, and angular conformities. List two events that can disturb rock layer sequences, of course, folding and tilting. What is the half-life? The time needed for half of a sample of a radioactive substance to undergo radioactive decay. List four types of radiometric dating: potassium argon method, uranium lead method, rubidium strontium method, carbon-14 method. Describe how organisms are preserved in amber. An organism is coat softy, sticky tree soap which hardens and preserved the organism. Mention three types of fossil formation: fossils in rock, fossil in amber, fossil in petrification, fossil in asphalt, and frozen fossils. How are cast and mold different? A mold is a cavity in a rock where a plant or an animal was buried. A cast is an object created when sediments fill a mold and become rock. List three types of trace fossil. The three types of trace fossil are tracks, burrows, and coprolites. What is an index fossil? Are fossils of organisms that lived during a relatively short, well-defined geologic period. What kinds of environmental change cause mass extinction? Answer: global climate change, changes in oceans currents, and possibly asteroid streaks. Chapter 8, page 160. Define the following, only you have to know these definitions. Choose the best answer. What is the most abundant gas in the atmosphere? Of course, nitrogen, and it's important. A major source of oxygen for the Earth's atmosphere is plant, of course, important. The bottom layer of the atmosphere where almost all weather occurs is the troposphere. What percentage of the solar energy that reaches the outer atmosphere is absorbed in the Earth's surface? 50%. The ozone layer is located in the stratosphere. By which method does most thermal energy in the atmosphere circulate? Greenhouse effect. The balance between incoming and outgoing energy is called the radiation balance. In which wind belt are most of the Arab world located? Of course, western lights. Which of the following pollutant is not a primary pollutant? Acid precipitation. Why do warm air rises and cold air sinks? Because warm air is less dense than the cold air. Answer the following. Name the atmospheric layers: troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, and thermosphere. What is the composition of the atmosphere? The atmosphere is made up of nitrogen, oxygen, and other gases. Why does air pressure decreases as altitude increases? Because the atmosphere is less dense at higher altitudes. What determines the temperature of the atmospheric layers? The temperature of the atmospheric layers varies because of the way solar energy is absorbed by the different gases. What is greenhouse effect? The warming of the surface and lower atmosphere on the Earth that occurs when water vapor, carbon dioxide, and other gases absorb and radiate thermal energy. Describe 3 ways that energy is transferred into atmosphere: radiation, conduction, and convection. What are the pressure belts? Is bands of high and low pressures that are found about every 30 degrees of altitude. Explain the sea and land breezes. You have to know this one. List 3, it is from the book, okay? List 3 primary pollutants from natural resources: smoke, dust, and sea salt. List 3 sources of indoor air pollution: nitrogen oxide, fungi and bacteria, solvents and chemicals. List 3 effects of air pollution on human: asthma, allergies, lung problems, and heart problems. This is important. Then the last thing is chapter 9. Only section 1 is included. Weather, humidity, condensation is the definitions. Choose the best answer. Which of the following clouds is most likely to produce light to heavy continuous rain? Of course, nimbostratus clouds. Answer the following. What is the water cycle? The water cycle is the continuous movement of water from Earth's ocean and rivers into the atmosphere, into the ground, and back into the ocean and rivers. The last thing is, what are the 4 types of precipitations? Rain, sleet, snow, and hail. Important. List types of clouds: cumulus, stratus, cirrus clouds. They are important as well. And we have drawings. Draw global winds direction, or draw water cycle, and this might be very important as well. Maybe water cycle. And the last thing is filling the blanks. Smoke, dust, sea salts are 3 primary pollutants from natural resources. Cumulus, stratus are types of clouds. Fossils in rock, fossil in amber, fossil in petrification, fossils in asphalt, frozen fossils are type of fossil formation. So good luck to you. Hope you are great and you are studying well. Be careful about the drawings, especially water cycle, and that's it. Goodbye.